Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sober Grind podcast. Hopefully everything is good and up and running here.
I hope so. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, episode 10. Can you believe it? 10
10.
episodes in.
Wow.
10 episodes.
Time flies when you're having lots of thoughts and lots of fun.
Absolutely. Double digits.
Let me just say this real quick.
Yeah, please.
For the record, I'm super duper tired because I went to the Lauryn Hill concert last night. She rocked the house.
I bet.
So I'm all coffeeed up. I think I'm gonna do my very best to be present for this presentation, but I think I should be good because the coffee's really good in this place.
Good, yeah.
That
and
is-
it's endless and it's
That
free.
hazelnut
so-
coffee be talking to a brother. Okay.
Awesome.
So question one is what's your name and how long have you been sober?
My name is Frankie, and I have been sober since January 21st, 1997, which is 21 years.
Wow, that's incredible. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. So when was that kind of aha moment, or was there a particular moment in your life that you can remember that you needed to make a change and start your recovery?
Well, if I'm being totally honest,
Please.
yeah, there was an aha moment. I mean, since I was 6, I knew there was a problem. You know, something was wrong. But the aha moment didn't happen until I was 26 years old, and it was literally the day before I got sober. And all the damage had brought me up, and I landed in my front yard screaming at God in the middle of my neighborhood, telling him, I don't love me, I don't even like me, so if you do, you need to help me. And somehow, it was like that. It was an aha moment. And when I landed in the rooms of AA the next day by just circumstances that weirdly happened, there was an aha moment that this is where I belong. If I'm being completely honest, I thought I read the AA Big Book. I got it handed to me when I was younger, and I read it all the way through because I love to read books. And when I handed it back to the lady, I said, this is a good book. Too bad it doesn't apply to me because it says so many good things. I asked her for the book back after I got sober.
Gotcha. Has a higher power been really important to you throughout your recovery and continued recovery?
My higher power has been, oh, now you're going to make me choke up. My higher power has been a love-hate relationship since I got sober. I don't know how much of my story you know, but when I got sober, I pretty much knew for a fact that God absolutely hated me, and he loved you and he loved everyone else, but not me. And when I got sober, I didn't want to trust him, so I couldn't even say God or do the whole God thing. I had to go down the ocean and write my prayers in the sand so that something that was greater than me could take them away. And I found a very huge faith in God, and then my goddaughter died of cancer, and then I hated God. And I had over 10 years of sobriety when that happened. And I just was like, look, I know you're there, and I don't want to talk to you. And I found that God is very patient and loving. And no matter what I do or what happens, God will sit and wait. And as long as sometimes you feel you're not connected to him, I've always been connected even when I'm angry.
Thank you so much for sharing that. So what words of encouragement or advice would you offer to someone listening to this podcast that maybe they're struggling themselves, or they have a loved one, a significant other, a child that's struggling with addiction? What advice would you give to them?
Al-Anon. I think that everybody at some certain time, I mean, we of course want to help as much as we can. Be honest with them. Be loving with them. Honesty without love is brutality. So always be 100% impeccable with your word. Tell them what your truth is. And then I think at some time, everybody who has any time kind of graduates to a point to where we have so many alcoholics around us, we need to remember some of the Al-Anon principles as well. And so we remember that no human power can relieve them of their addiction, but God can. And remember that everyone has a God. God doesn't have any grandkids, so I'm his child. My children, who I have gone through an addiction thing with one of my daughters, she has a God too, and she's not a grandchild. She is God's child. And they have a magical experience together. And sometimes, even though things look like they're going wrong, sometimes it is the chaos and the terribleness that helps them to hit a bottom. So never rob anyone of their bottom either. We have to be bumper pads, not the bowling ball.
I like that.
Thank you.
And how about for the individual?
The advice that I would give is just go and find the program. Sit inside of it. And my simple advice would be, if you stay for a year, you will only be 1 year older. But while you stay for that year, do everything that they tell you. That's what they told me. I didn't plan on staying. I have one sobriety date, and I'm here 21 years later. So I would say, go, do everything that they tell you, put the program to the test, and if it doesn't work for you, like they always like to say, your misery will be refunded in full. But love yourself enough and give yourself enough of a chance that you go and at least be open. You know, we talk about honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness in the program, and if you have all three of those, miracles will happen. You just have to allow them to happen and stay out of God's way.
So we have a really fun topic today, pretty good for a lot of different people. So we're talking about how to resist triggers and how to form positive habits.
Triggers
and habits.
Okay. So just so we're all clear, does everybody? You guys know what triggers are? Does anybody that's in recovery know what triggers are, or not in recovery what triggers are?
Why don't we just jump in? What's a trigger?
Okay, so a trigger basically when somebody's new in recovery, and for whatever reason, you know, they might be doing well, things come up that happen to them that trigger them and make them be at risk in their recovery. They might see certain things, do certain things, be around certain places that trigger them to think about, you know, possibly going and picking up a drink or a drug or whatever. So they get triggered. Basically, that's what a trigger is.
Okay, are there, so you kind of mentioned it a little bit, are there like really common triggers? Some that are all over the place? Or...
They can come in different forms, persons, places, things. You know, family members can become triggers. You know, certain people might say certain things a certain way that used to get under your skin and you used to get loaded over, you know, or at least make it an excuse to get loaded over. So, or, you know, seeing like ex-girlfriends, ex-boyfriends, ex-husbands, ex-wives, you might like have some kind of an interaction, altercation, I mean, like not physical, but, you know, like a verbal altercation with them to where it triggers you. All of a sudden you're like, what can you do to not have to feel those feelings that you know, feelings of anger and anguish and whatever. So a lot of people suddenly, their mind will go in that position, like in the direction of, well, you know, what did I used to do to overcome these uncomfortable feelings? I used to pick up a drink, or I used to get loaded and get high. Yeah.
Totally understand.
I'm looking at 3 different cameras. 1, 2,
so I think
3.
we want to, this is the one we want to pay attention to, because this is
Hi.
what everyone's talking to us on. So it looks like we do have a couple live people in here.
I see Mickey
Lori.
Bush is on here. Hi, Mickey.
Lori says hi.
Hi, Lori. How are
Eli
you?
says much love, brother.
Hi, Eli. Much love to you too.
Andrea says yes.
Everybody's name that I see
Max
in the feed right
says,
there
"What's
are
up?"
all wonderful, beautiful people.
We are so happy to have you all in here.
Yes, we are.
Whether I know you or not, I probably don't know you because we're streaming on Pej's profile.
That's right.
But it's great to have
What's
you in
up,
here.
Keith? Keith has been instrumental in my recovery.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm going to be sharing this too here. If you like this, if you have any questions, please leave us a comment.
Please do.
Share this if it's beneficial to anyone that you know. It helps this this podcast grow, so we can continue doing this.
Yep.
So, talking about habits a little bit.
Okay.
How do you develop a new habit, particularly a positive habit?
A positive habit in recovery?
Yeah, and in general in life.
Okay, well, obviously,
We'll start with in recovery.
Let's
see if we can.
Having to switch over from your old bad habits.
Yeah.
Something that usually happens for people that come into recovery. You know, they want to start doing better for themselves. That can consist in different things. You know, it can be like spiritual. You know, like they want to go to church or they want to go to meetings, and so this can become habitual. Like if now that they're not getting loaded anymore, not hanging out with the lower companions and getting, you know. Being in dingy, seedy places, they're now attending meetings or going to sober social support group roundups. Maybe they'll go to Frankie Doll's organization. What is it? What's
What's
that?
Frankie Doll's organization?
She's on there. Frankie's got the
Hi,
elephant-
Frankie.
something elephants. I remember. Anyway, so people want to do better for themselves, so they have to create new habits. And some people like to go to the gym. That becomes a habit. Like they want to work out. You know, mind, body, and spirit. It's all about increasing and expanding on the different things that you are better for you and become better habits for you than what you were doing before.
Gotcha.
Yes.
So what are so fitness, working out is one. What are some positive habits that you would maybe encourage people to start or pick up?
Well, for one, it's always good to read up on literature that helps you with your recovery. Maybe look at other people's experiences. Look at the literature that you see in meetings. You know, doing step work. You know, things like that with a sponsor. Those are the good things to like make a habit for yourself, so that you start working through that stuff on your recovery, and then later on you can give it away, or else you can't keep it. Other things are things like going to the gym, eating better, becoming more conscious of what you're
That's a
eating.
good habit.
You know, yeah, it's like being aware. I'm actually on a 30-day challenge right now.
Ooh.
With my nutritionist has put on this thing to where
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to change the way I'm eating, because don't you know that when you get sober, you put away the drugs and the alcohol and things like that, what do we usually gravitate towards? Food. That becomes like the new addiction. So if you don't watch it, the next thing you know, you're engulfed in you know, problems with your doctor, you know, high sugar levels, you
Yeah,
start
sure.
getting a little thicker around the waist.
Sugar's terrible for you.
Totally. So you know, got to change your habits, that your eating habits, your food habits, your, you know, many different things.
What about like first of the morning habits? Waking up, starting your day.
Well,
I know that can be really difficult.
a lot of people
For me too.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, what I see often and what I like to do is, you know, ritual habitual, like getting up in the morning and doing a meditation, you know, so prayer, meditation, however you roll. Some people like to pray in the morning. Some people like to just meditate and, you know, center to themselves with the universe, go within, just be at one with everything, and then take that all throughout your day, that sense of peace and ease and comfort that you start your day off with. That's a great habit to have. Also, gratitude. I mean, if you really truly, and I've talked about this before here, if you really truly take a look at the good things you have in life and become grateful for them, everything you have and everything you don't have, then you actually, that can center a person, and you appreciate life, you appreciate your sobriety, you appreciate the small things, the bare necessities of life, the things that, you know, the things that you really need to survive. Well, I mean, what do we really need? We need a good place to sleep, we need some food, we need to be able to pay our bills. We need to be able to take care of our responsibilities, whether they be our children or our school responsibilities or our work responsibilities. As long as you become grateful for those things, I believe that from the top of your day, you just take that into your day and you have a much easier life. You're centered
it.
with the universe. Yes.
Yeah, going into your days positive.
Yep.
We got quite a few questions here before we jump in next. Okay,
90 pounds in 90 days. Ooh, I like that.
that's great. We got a
There's Frankie Doll right there.
Oh,
Wait, what did she say?
Tribe of Elephants.
Tribe of Elephants. If y'all don't know about Frankie Doll, Tribe of Elephants, you should know. And I'm going to start going. That's going to be my next commitment, that I'm going to go start visiting that group.
Sal, do you want to take this question?
How should I stop taking methadone? That's a really good question. So,
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, I don't know if you're going to a methadone clinic and that's become like a habit for you. I know that when it comes to methadone, it's just as addictive as heroin, and it's probably harder to kick it.
Yeah,
And for one, like methadone definitely messes with your mind. In other words, you do get elevated, you know, in a sense. It becomes not only addictive, but you do get a head change from methadone. So it's really hard to kick, and it also, in when you're doing it, it's basically holding you back from having to endure the pain of coming, you know, the opiates, like having to come off of the opiates, you know, to overcome the withdrawals, you know. So, but then it becomes so addictive that you depend on that. How do you, the best thing that I've seen when it comes to quitting methadone is, for one, talking to your doctor, and I'm talking about a good doctor, somebody who actually you both have the same vision in trying to get off of methadone. If you're tired of doing methadone and you don't want to do it anymore and you've become really dependent on it, the best thing to do is to see a good doctor, maybe switch your doctor that you've had, stay away from the clinic, and just have whoever's prescribing you that methadone taper off. The best thing is just to taper off. You want to be able to go from however many milligrams you're taking a day and however your doctor dictates it for you, put it down to where I've watched people go. I've seen a guy literally on 150 milligrams of methadone, which is extremely high.
Wow.
Like, it's not normal for people to be on that much methadone, but when you're, when you are
Was he
on it.
prescribed that?
He was prescribed that, and it was through a clinic, and it was, I think, in liquid form that he was taking it.
Okay.
So, and it was, I've never seen somebody endure so much excruciating pain in coming off of it, but he did taper off, and they brought him all the way down until the point where he was in the low milligrams, and then after over a period of time, he actually got off of the methadone. It is possible to get off of methadone.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I hope that was helpful for you. Okay, Jack says, yo, what's up, guys? Thanks for going live. I appreciate... where'd it go?
Hi.
I appreciate
Jack.
the topic as well, but I was told this was a couch auction.
Will the
Will
couch,
the couch be up for sale soon?
My
My time is limited.
That's because my dad is selling a couch on the Facebook Marketplace. No, it's not. Actually, somebody, I don't know, Jack, if you're married to Amber already wants that couch. So let's
Well, good luck.
On to the next thing.
We'll do another live stream about couch sales.
Okay.
We'll tie that later. So Sal has a follow-up question there. Where do I find sober social support? Well, one, we have an addiction-oriented group
That's
called
right.
Ask an Addiction Specialist.
It's on Facebook. If you go up in your little Facebook bar up there, Sal, and you type in Ask an Addiction Specialist, there's a group. We can add you to it. There's a wealth of people that are professionals and also people that are in recovery that would be happy to assist you in finding that. I could easily say start going to meetings, but you probably wouldn't know where to go. So, go on there. We will guide you. You can even send me a personal message, and I'll be of service to you and help you in any way I can. Thank you, Frankie, by the way. I learned from you.
By the way, everyone that's watching, if you look at the description of this video, we have all the links to the Sober Grind podcast. This is episode 10. If you want to listen or watch episode 1 through 9, you can click the links in the description and go there, subscribe, leave us a comment, a review. Anything is very helpful.
Yeah, so we have the Sober Grind podcast, which can be found in several platforms. It can be found on iTunes. It can be found on Google. What is it? Google what?
Google Play.
Google Play. Okay, I'm not a Google guy. This guy's the PC. I'm the Apple. Okay, but
That's why it's a good partnership here.
that's right. So you can go on those and just type in Super Grind. See, I told you I was tired. Hold on, more coffee.
The Super Sober Grind.
It's called the Sober Grind, right?
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yes.
God, Pej. Okay, I can't wait to take a nap today. I need to get a power nap so I can just be like, Rah! But yeah, just go on there, listen to our podcast. Every week we have somebody that comes on. They do a testimonial. Wasn't it Jeremy Jackson last week?
Jeremy Jackson was on, yeah.
Jeremy Jackson was last week, and this week is going to be...
Well, we need some more people.
Oh, we need some more people. So if you'd like to be on the Sober Grind and tell us about your short little testimonial, you don't have to be on camera. We can just use your voice. You can even use a fake name and stay anonymous. It's up to
Totally
you.
anonymous.
Yep.
It is very helpful. We've gotten a lot of really positive feedback from it. So if you feel comfortable sharing your journey,
Yes.
it would really help a lot of people.
Journey of recovery. We always want to hear from you. What are the
Yeah.
questions you got for me?
Yes. So
Back to the topic.
Developing
Triggers.
habits. Is it possible for habits to become addictive in and of themselves? So maybe they start positive. Can that addictive behavior take your habits too far?
Absolutely. Okay, so that's a really good question. What I see often is that, okay, so you put the drugs and alcohol aside and you create these new habits. So I often see that some people, their new habit might become going to the gym. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with going to the gym. But when that becomes your recovery, or that becomes more important than your recovery, and you're always excessively working out because you're never really satisfied about how your body looks, then that can become a very unhealthy habit, right? Because at that point, you're not working on your mind, body, and spirit. You're just working on your body. You just want to look good. And then on top of that, some people that are in recovery like to throw steroids in the mix. To each their own, not judging, but I just don't know how good that is for you, because it's still, at the end of the day, can really mess with your mind, you know? So, you know, as far as other bad habits or good habits that can become excessive, is that what you were saying? They become
Yeah, when you take a
addictive?
good habit too far.
So, okay, this is funny. There's a lot of people that go to 12-step meetings, right? And then the newcomers sometimes certain people will say, well, you know, it looks like you've made that your new addiction. And I think that, you know, as long as there's balance in life, again, to each their own. But for myself, like, I like to go to 12-step meetings, right? If I go to 3 or 4 a day, I think I'm becoming a little bit excessive. If I'm going to, you know, 1 a day for maybe 5 days a week, personally, I like to go to 1 every day because I used to use every day and drink every day. Then it becomes, you know, it's something it's good for me. But I also have a life outside of just going to 12-step meetings. Like I do other things. I like to go on hikes and just, you know, go to the beach and be with my dog and be with my friends.
We got to go on a hike sometime.
I would love to do that, especially right now that it's cool.
Sorry to distract you.
Awesome. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, okay. In my experience, so I would love to wake up earlier. That's something I've struggled with in the past, and I'm currently struggling with. Why do you think some habits, starting new habits, can be so difficult sometimes? Is it just because I'm lazy and I need to kick it into gear, or what's your opinion on
Okay, so
difficulty starting new habits?
again, I love that oh, wow. I can't express enough. So let's say, for example, for waking up earlier, right? Often, and I had a conversation with somebody about this just the other day, often people will come into recovery and it's hard for them to adapt newer habits that are out of the norm.
Right.
Right, because usually a lot of people that used and drank, their lives were based around what happened in the evening. And there's the saying, nothing good happens after 11 p.m. at night, right? So I see a lot of people that are in recovery that, you know, a lot of younger people that they haven't yet got the life skills to advance themselves in life or to have certain responsibilities or think about what they want to do in their future. So they'll do certain things to where they're up late at night and then they sleep in all day. And I've often I've done some life coaching, and there's been some people that, you know, they'll wake up at like 2 in the afternoon and then they'll check in with me and I'm just be like, you know, you wasted like most of your day. And they just, it's like it's a habit for them though, right?
Yeah.
What can come with that? Like, let's say, for example, somebody that likes to sleep in a lot is depression can come out of that. A person that oversleeps a lot, often it's a sign of depression, and there's probably something more deeper rooted going on with that person. And if they don't work through that stuff, then they're going to become really comfortable in their habits and just be stuck in their comfort zone.
Gotcha. So you got to work on yourself.
You got to work on yourself. Yeah, it's all about motivating yourself and seeing what's important. You know, like I used to do it. There was times when I was newly sober and I didn't know how to live sober, and there was times when I knew I had to go out into the world and do certain things to better myself or to get to where I needed to get to. But I would just get so afraid of the world because it was such a big world that I just wanted to like bundle myself up underneath the blankets and not have to deal with anything. And then I started realizing like I'm depressed, and that's not good. You know, I can't just lay in bed all day and waste my day.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Very helpful. We got a couple more comments here.
I would
Frankie
be willing
says
to
hi,
come on.
Keith.
We want you to come on, Frankie.
Please come on. That would be great.
Frankie, send me a private message. I think I have your number, but if not, I will definitely. We would love to. She's like a pillar. Like she's awesome. Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to have you
I
on.
look up to Frankie Doll. If you want to, yeah, we do want a sober woman, especially you. Cool.
Yeah, we should diversify the show a little bit.
Yes. We need more women. Any more questions?
Well, does anyone have any questions about?
You guys have any questions that you want to ask
triggers,
us?
habits, maybe a habit you're trying to form yourself?
If you don't, okay, listen. If you have questions, feel free to write them in here. Go to our page, Ask an Addiction Specialist on Facebook. Also, you can go to the Beginnings page and check us out over there. Also, there's really important thing I want to announce here. We have an intervention training course with Earl
Yes.
Hightower going on. It's going to be hosted at Beginnings Treatment Center. If you are interested in becoming an interventionist and, you know, working in the field and helping save lives and get people into treatment, just let me know. You can call me at 949-751-7761, or you can email me at pej@beginningstreatment.com. And I have been putting stuff out there a lot lately as far as flyers and things like that. But let me know if you want. Drop me a line, send me your email, and I will send you everything that you need to know about the intervention trainings.
Yeah, what an incredible experience that's going to be. Live, in person, hands-on with Earl Hightower.
That's right.
That's
3
gonna be
days
awesome. I
of
can't
being
wait.
trained, and you get 30 credits towards becoming a certified interventionist, which I believe it's about 80 altogether.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Do not miss that.
Yes. Anyway, so this has been a great show.
Yeah. I guess that's pretty much all of the. We covered pretty much everything.
Wonderful. It was so nice to see all of you. Thank you all who interacted with us today. Thanks for tuning in. We're usually here on Mondays. So it's all about the Sober Grind podcast. It's all about this live
It's
stream.
all about this.
It's all about your recovery, our recovery, and people that need to get into recovery possibly. Much love to everybody.